Hey guys, for those of you who enjoy shed hunting, or you're walking along a trail while you're hiking and you find a bone fragment or a jawbone like I have here, this video is to show you what I use to bleach and whiten the skeletal remains that I find in the woods. First, I get a bucket of hot water, drop some hydrogen peroxide in considerable amount, and then slowly place these skeletal remains inside the bucket and let it settle for about an hour. After that hour is complete, depending on how dirty it still is, I may refill the bucket, put in some more hydrogen peroxide, and repeat the process. Now, the products I love to use: SalonCare 40, 16 fluid ounces. This is a cream. Specifically, I use this, and I mix it with a powder lightener, Quick White. All right, so for the sake of cleanliness, I'm going to wear my gloves. I'm going to put a white rag to protect my cooler. I'm just going to go and start with this small jawbone. Get an ample supply of Salon 40. You can open up the powder mix for extra whitening. Considerable amount. Okay, good. Yep. Just gonna go ahead and mix that all in so you have a good consistency. The powder form will be mixed in well with the liquid, the bleach. What we're going to do is just apply it on to the surface, making sure you get all these crevices, every piece. Consider this to be like a first layer, the primer. And as this does its work, it will eventually whiten. Next, I'm going to work on this jawbone, which I do believe is one of a feral hog, just because of the bottom teeth that are protruding. I'm surprised to see this one in the woods. This is pretty cool. But you always have to be on lookout and alert, especially while hunting in Texas. So we're going to go ahead and put a generous amount coat on this. And use the same principles as the one before. I'm going to cover this for the first coat. Let it dry for about 24 hours. And I'll revisit this one then. And last but not least, this pretty cool young buck white-tailed deer. This would be cool. Unlike the other two, I'm just going to probably rest them on a coffee table or some sort of somewhere where I can rest it. This one, I'll most likely hang. Try not to get bleach the the antlers. Sometimes you have to just grab your life by the horns and be assertive. Take risks. Do something different. Do something fun and follow your passions. Good. Okay, we're going to let this dry for 24 hours. In the meantime, I'm going to go clean up and wash off this tray, put everything away to where it belongs until tomorrow to apply an additional coat. What do you guys think? All right, 24 hours later, I'm noticing a huge difference. Definitely whiter, brighter. But I think I can go just a shade whiter. It's optional. It's really entirely up to you, especially right here in the bottom where I laid it down to dry. Maybe I'll flip it over and let the bottom dry out, but definitely a difference from when I first started. It's working, the process works, trust the process. And now I'm just gonna go apply a second layer. And after I'm done with that, let it dry for another 24 hours, and that's where we'll continue from there. Now, here's an important considerable mention and a step is that you're gonna have excess residue left over from the dried up powder. You may want to grab your rag and wipe it down. You're gonna get some buildup in between certain areas like these teeth. So maybe if you have a used toothbrush, you want to brush its teeth and just remove all the excess in between before you put on another coat. I think this is one of those overlooked steps that should be mentioned. All right, so it's been a couple of days since my last coat. And what you want to do is take a rag and gently remove any of this powdery mix. It's not going to be 100% brilliant white, but I like that. I don't want it to look like it's a model from a hobby store. Keep the true authentic bone white. So you're just going to keep doing that until you remove any of the excess. Right? There's no powder on here. You just keep moving, keep doing that. The main thing is you want to get rid of all this excess goop, dried up goop, right? So it's gone, and just almost like an archaeological find. You may want to put on gloves. It's optional. Recommendable. I don't know if you can see that, but with the brush, just flakes of dried powder mix crumble off. As an extra precaution or a PPE, you may want to put on a mask so you don't inhale any of this discarded powder. But I'm outside at proper ventilation, and have fun with it. That should be it. So if you're satisfied with the whitening of your project, then just keep it as is. And just end it right here. But what I like to do, especially with my shed hunts or my finds, not necessarily a trophy mount, I go an extra step, and that is staining the antlers. Using that same brush, removing all excess powder. I'm going to use that same 1-inch bristle brush, and I'm going to stain the antlers. Have that pop out look. Just be extra cautious. Sometimes I tape the bottom of the antlers so as not to touch any of the bone. Be extra careful you don't splash the brush and create these little spots on the skull itself. Just adds a nice little sheen to it, contrast that I prefer. There are many other different types of stain colors you can use, but this one's left over from my last project, so I'm just going to use that. Don't worry if you don't capture all of it on the first try. We're going to let this one dry and add a second coat to make sure we get every spot. This will add some sort of decorative value to your home. Nice conversation piece. Try to go one direction. Got a nice little flow. Try not to press too hard. It'll dilute or make splotchy spots. Just like with painting anything with a brush. Thank you all so much for watching this video. This is the way that I like to brighten sheds, deadheads. Took about 4 or 5 days to complete. Nice little side project while you're doing other things. So please leave a comment. I know everyone has their own special way of doing this. This is the way I like to do it. Salon 40, quick white, 1-inch bristle brush, provincial stain, which is optional. And I stained it as close to the brown tine as I could without staining the actual skull. So, all right guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Jersey Texan. Really like the way this came out. So much fun. I came as close to the brow tine as I could without getting it stained, so that's a plus. Let me know what you think.